Wow. Is this working? Is it finally live? I'm horrible with this shit. Views 0. Well. Hey, Uncle Bill. Sorry, I'm just testing this out. Does it look clear? Does it look like it's, can you hear me and all that stuff? I think there's a little bit of a delay. Okay, we got some people coming now. There we go. I didn't really promote this very well. But here I am. Just give me a second. I'm gonna wait for. I'm not gonna be on too long, but I'm just gonna wait for a couple of more folks to come on, come online here, and I'm kind of just finishing some shooting, and in the studio I was gonna do a little control room tour here. So just give me just about 2 minutes, and this is very important to me, answering questions with great wisdom and confidence. That's this. But I guess I can do this. While I'm away, let me take a look at this guy. It's pretty great. It's a pretty cool looking piece of space kit. Alright. There's my face again. Make sure that looks all correct. Alright. Looks a little red, but what can you do? I tried to get a lav mic, but I guess the my camera won't let me use my lav mic for live streams for whatever reason. I've never hooked it up before, but it sure looks better than my laptop camera. It's the Sony that I shoot with. Yeah, I'm just kind of moving along on these videos. We have sessions that are going to be coming up pretty soon, so I want to get these out, and I'm probably going to do like release one part a month, and then probably take a break, because this has been quite a involved endeavor to do all this research. I probably could have a degree and take a written test on the White Album at this point, so I think we might do Sgt. Pepper next. A lot of this stuff is kind of all the same after 1966. They all kind of seem to be recording things much the same way. You know, little improvements here and there with technology and tape machines, that kind of thing. But yeah, I just I wanted to say hey, and I wanted to respond to any questions. I'm going to do this for probably about 10 minutes, and then I got to get back to work. I'm testing it out because I'm doing a Patreon, because it just doesn't make sense for me to put in this much work in 16-hour days and not see my family and put all this information out there for everybody. And I gotta have some way to like make it worth it. And it's fun to the extent of, wow, this is really fun. I've been doing this kind of stuff since I was 14, you know, rediscovering Beatle tracks. But now it's gotten to the point to where it's become a enormous pain in my ass to make these videos, which is why I only do like one a year. But we're gonna do 4 this summer. And so I put the Patreon up to help move things along. You know, if everybody signed up for the lowest tier for $4.99 or whatever, and you know, I mean, if I could do the math of how many subscribers I have, that would make it worth it. It would make it well worth it, and I would be able to put more content out. So I didn't see it as that big of a thing. I don't want to pull from the actual recording studio into my videos, because that income is separate. That's a business. That's people that are paid to do work, and making YouTube videos is not one of them. So thank you for doing these. What I've seen so far has been very cool. Love what you're doing. How are you liking the warm WA-19s? They're awesome. I am very... I'll put the link for the Patreon right here. .com/Boulevard Recording. There's not a lot in there, but there will be, like the multi-tracks for these sessions that I've worked so hard on. That's one of the tiers. And yes, so the WA-19s, well, here, if you just hold on for just a second, I'll grab one, and I'll grab one of my real D19s and just show you guys kind of what's up. So, yes, I will release the Pro Tools sessions and the backing tracks on Patreon. I think the the first tier is a basic Patreon. The second tier is going to be I'll release the stereo mixes of the backing tracks, and then the third tier will be the actual sessions from my videos, with all the work I've done. You'll see if you go to the Patreon link, and you can check out the backing tracks. But someone was asking about the WA-19s. So here, let's see if I can get this in focus. Come on. What's going on with my focus? Oh, it's tracking me, that's why. Hold on. Come on. Play ball. Damn it. I might just do manual focus. Let's see. Sorry, I got a real camera here. Okay, so this guy, this is the WA-19. It's pretty awesome. Why is it doing this? Sorry. Let me put the autofocus button. That should do it. They're excellent. They're made like tanks. They definitely feel a lot more well made than my real D19s, which are very fragile, and if you look at them wrong, they will break. But the construction is incredible. They really nailed these things. They are not dissimilar in the slightest bit. They're heavier. They're heavier than the old ones, which is a good sign because the old ones are super fragile. And if you knock one or if one gets hit with a drumstick, changes the sound forever. I haven't knocked the Warm Audio one yet with a drumstick, and I don't intend to. But I would imagine that if they're making them and selling them, that they've made sure to make sure that they're pretty durable and sturdy. Yes, they do need to make a D12 because apparently AKG can't be bothered to make anything that is worth owning, and I say that with incredible confidence. They made a D12 VR. VR means vintage reissue. It's not a vintage reissue whatsoever. It's a completely different diaphragm with EQ switches on it that have nothing to do with the original mic. And yes, I hope they make, if Warm Audio did this well in the D19s, if they made a D12, I would buy it, or at least fix my old ones. That I have 3 old D12s and a D20, and they all could use a bit of love. So that's that. I hope so. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah. So I'm going to be shooting kind of a basic shootout with these guys, with my real ones and with the old ones. With the real ones and with the new ones. Sorry. And I'm going to do it not so much as like, hey, here's a mic on a piano. Here's the other mic on a piano. I'm going to do kind of like what I think is where these mics really kind of were made famous was on the drum bus. And so, they had 4 of them on a drum kit usually, and then they would hit it with a Fairchild. So we're going to do that. I mean, I'll do individual hits, but I'm going to also, I will also do the Fairchild so that you can hear like all the mics together with the D20 and a Cam 56 on the snare, like old school, and hear them through a Fairchild as one track, and then you'll hear the Warm, and then you'll hear the real guys, and we'll switch back and forth, and you guys can make a decision on whether you want to buy them or not. I can tell you now that I will buy them, and I'm going to try them on piano and acoustic guitar, kind of the things they shine on. They're probably great vocal mics. I know that Frank Sinatra preferred the D24 for live use. So the D24 is the same insides of a D19, but it had a different spit screen for live performance, so that they were used live a lot in that sense for vocal mics, because they did have a really nice cutting high end. So yeah, I bet they're great vocal mics. I just answered a question that I made up myself. Oh, what are my glasses? They are they're Frank glasses made in Italy, and I love them so much. And they're I bought them from Retro Super Future, which is a great little shop, and I think they have an online store, but these are, I don't know if they make these. Every time I buy glasses and I love them, and then something happens to them, or like one of my dogs chewed up a pair of my favorite frames. They don't make them. They stopped making stuff. I don't understand why they stopped making frames. Like, just make the same damn frames and keep making them, because if people like them, why would you want to do that to us? It's just capitalism. Yeah, Steve, you know what? Your amp got used quite a bit on the White Album stuff, because I don't have a I don't have one of the solid state amps, so I actually used the OSO amp on all of the parts that I thought were the Vox Defiant. So I used it. I used the fuzz, and then I used it through like a cab with Alnico speakers, which is what they would have been using on those crazy Voxes. And then I also used the Jex Telez wide album pedal on some things. I used that fuzz. But your fuzz is great, man, and that amp is great. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, you should buy Ford WA19s. I think they're great. Um, and I know that Warm is chomping at the bit for me to get this video out, so I just wanted to kind of come on here. I'm going to do a better job at announcing that I'm going to be doing this in the future, and maybe I'll have a subject or something to talk about. And I'd like to kind of, that's kind of with the Patreon too, like a studio tour and a tour of our mic locker, and maybe doing live sessions, opening some of these sessions and showing you guys kind of what I do in the box a little bit, and what I enjoy on plugins and that kind of thing. So but this worked out pretty well. I'm glad to see it's clear and you can hear me. And yeah, please, the Patreon, that's all I can say, so I can keep making these videos. If you have any desire to support the channel in another way, that would be incredible. And if you do join the multi-tracks, they're kind of in flux. So the multi-tracks will be released after the videos come out. So when every video comes out, there will be some of the multi-tracks with it on the Patreon for people to download. And if you don't have Pro Tools, then we'll make stems for you. So we will figure that out. But anyway, I want to thank everyone for coming on here, especially my Uncle Bill. And yes, I will put the link. Absolutely, you bet I'll put the link. Thank you for subbing. That is so awesome. It makes a big difference to me and my family when people do that, so that I can spend more time with them. Or when I do spend time with them, I'm not, frustrated because I just worked 100 hours and didn't make a dime. So it makes it worth it. It makes it worth it when we can justify all the work. And that's how most people on these channels are. They are all doing it, until you get to the and I don't know that I intend to be as big as I don't, I actually, to be honest, don't love doing videos. I actually love making albums and mixing, but I have the platform to do it. So yes, that's my Uncle Bill. That's actually my real Uncle Bill. He's retired, don't worry. He's not going to get fired for watching my live stream. But I like making albums. I like doing records. I don't want to be the video guy. I kind of just started doing this for fun, and then now people like it, and so I will do my best, and I will make content, and I don't, I got to kind of get all this under control and see what it looks like. But see, there he is. He's still there. Anyway, you don't have to sub to my Patreon, Uncle Bill. Don't worry about it. You're retired now. Anyway, full speed ahead. I'm about to finish up this bass video. I'm about to do kind of the last segment today, which is going to be Dear Prudence, which was done on Sound Techniques, which is exactly what we have here. Much nicer than the one that was at Trident Studios in London, because it's brand new and it's in a 2024 state that is very functional and useful. So so that's going to be kind of the last segment of the bass video, and I gotta get to work because I've got someone coming in 2.5 hours to do a session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for subbing to the Patreon. It helps. Every bit helps. And follow us on Instagram, Facebook, share our page, share our videos so that more people can see them. And I will see you all soon. Thanks.